Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome back for another top secret review. Hold on just a second. Oh, never mind. I got plenty of light. Today I'm going to go over two of the top secret SI supplements that I was the most surprised to read because they weren't like your typical standard accessory for a role-playing game. I'm talking about the Covert Operations Sourcebook number 1 and the Covert Operations Sourcebook number 2. Between the two of them, we're looking at about 165 pages of actual facts. We're not talking, fantasy situations or, super high-tech gadgets or anything like that. We're talking about the real world, which I know is almost a four-letter word in this hobby. But when it comes to espionage, there's no better source than the real world. There's no better source to really jumpstart your understanding of how things work than these two books that literally break down and describe. Mind you, this was up until the year 1988. One published in 87, one in 88. So the information in here was actually accurate up until that point. Afterward, you're on your own. But these books literally describe the history and the construction and the way intelligence agencies work, or worked at the time, I should say, starting with the CIA and, of course, the KGB, giving you a full, comprehensive, quick study guide to how the CIA was created, what it was meant to do, what it did up until 1988, obviously, including all of the personnel, the organizational structure, the whole nine yards, everything you could possibly want to make a simulation of your espionage world of Earth, obviously, unless if you're going to do something else, then, another planet or something like that, then you're, again, on your own. But here you have an actual, probably hard for you guys to see, the diagram of the CIA, its command responsibilities, its personnel, all the different departments. And it does the same thing for the KGB, and this is book 1. But then, this is the part that just blew my mind. Part 2 of each of these books is espionage case files. Actual documented stories of people and what they did. Now, one of the things I found most intriguing about the world of espionage is it was highly dependent on defectors. People coming in from the cold, so to speak, from one country to defect to another to more or less, divulge everything that could possibly be squeezed out of them, all the information that they had, all the things that they'd overheard and read, and sometimes actual documentation. And you get about 20 different case files of individuals and what they did and why they did it, and a little bit about who they were and their motivations for the most part, why they left one country to join another, or why they sold out their own country and gave up secrets that were, devastating, as well as dangerous to people who had no idea what was going on, people in the real world who were, loosely affiliated, the men and women in the services, giving up these secrets for usually just cold, hard cash. Sad to say, but that's usually what it was. We've got the case of John H. Bothwell, Larry Chin, Christopher Cook, the infamous Fedora, many others, a lot of Russian names that I'm not going to butcher, Sergeant Robert Lee Johnson, some heroes amongst these case files, but for the most part, scoundrels, scumbags, traitors to their own country and their own people. Don McLean, Lieutenant Commander Arthur Lindbergh, one of the most notorious group of traitors, the infamous, hold on, I'm getting to it. It's the last one, I believe. the Walker family. Multiple members of this family went about selling state secrets to the bad guys at the time, and just absolutely deplorable circumstances and traitorous activities. And then Covert Operations Sourcebook number 2 goes into the rest of the world, including the British intelligence, the French intelligence, the GRU, the Israeli intelligence, the Soviet bloc intelligence services, and the West German intelligence bureaus. Then it also has the case files of Rudolf Abel, George Blake, Sir Anthony Frederick Blunt, Heinz Paul Johann Felf, I'm probably butchering that name, a couple other Russian individuals, again, I'm not going to try to butcher their names, John Arthur Paisley, and many others. And then, to top it all off, the last section is operating areas, including Berlin, Soviet Union, United States, and Vienna, and what it would be like to run campaigns and games in these locations. More details than you can shake a stick at, and all of the pertinent information you would absolutely need to effectively run an espionage game between the turn of the previous century all the way up to, let's go with the late 1980s, maybe beginning of the 90s, but I would probably, for personal reasons, prefer to stick to the 80s. Now, a couple of things that really blew me away, in addition to all of that, which you normally don't find in a role-playing game supplement. It's usually, fictional stuff. This is actual history. To be honest, this stuff is all, or was at one time, classified information. And John Prados went and did the hard work. He came into the role-playing game situation as a historian, as a writer of intelligence novels, I believe, and case history books on the real world of espionage. And that, to me, is just, you don't normally get a lot of people like that jumping, from one place into the role-playing game world, which is, usually just, dragons and elves and barbarians and that sort of thing, or spaceships and robots, etc. Which, there are no real world equivalents. But here we've got a wealth of information, and not only did he do all this in these 2 short volumes, like I said, about 160 pages, but he then cites all of the books and the people you could go to for further reading. Not touting his own work so much, but all the other people out there that helped him come to these conclusions and bring us this just absolutely amazing set of books. Now, if you were not playing a real world espionage game, you could still get a lot of use out of these. If you, like myself, are deeply interested in the world of espionage for various reasons, you're going to find information in here summed up quickly, as opposed to going through, hundreds and if not thousands of pages of novels and historical books and history books and things like that, and behind the scenes book. These 2 volumes can catch you up to speed real quick on all of the most infamous spy rings, spies, walk-ins, turncoats, double agents, triple agents, the whole bit. It's all here, and I am just blown away that this is what I found in these books. I was expecting something completely different, to be honest. I was expecting secret gadgets. Mind you, there's plenty of secret gadgets in here. The very infamous suicide pen and other things like that. The spy cameras and all that, all the training techniques, etc. But it's not boiled down to game mechanics. It's just facts on the real world of espionage. And so for me, definitely worth the read. Top Secret keeps showing up with gems. The Administrator's Guide on how to run an actual role-playing game without mechanics required, just totally system agnostic way of writing the administrator's guide, the player's guide, a perfect skill-based role-playing game system, regardless of what genre you actually want to run. You could use it for anything. I've said that before about villains and vigilantes. This one is when all you need are skills and a few other things. This game has got it all, folks. I know it's not a big fan favorite out there, but I'm going to keep on reviewing these. I'm not sure what the next one is in line, but I'm almost done with this series, in which case I will be jumping into a couple other role-playing games that are espionage-related role-playing games to see which one I think is literally the best. But so far, my money's on Top Secret SI, not Top Secret the first edition, and I hate to say it, probably not Top Secret 3rd edition New World Order. From what I've seen of it, not a big fan, but I will review it before the end of this month. So from all of us here at the Shadow and Sun Show, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for playing along. And until next time, happy trails.